If you are going to be successful at the endeavors of your life that you want to be successful at, one thing that you cannot negotiate is consistency. You just have to be consistent. And that's what we are going to be looking at in this video. We are going to be looking at what consistency is, how to be consistent, why consistency is important, and the reasons why people are not consistent. If you're excited about this, I want you to like the video, I want you to share with others, and I want you to subscribe to the channel for videos just like this one. Now let's get right into it. What's consistency? Consistency is when you commit to certain activities, to do them repeatedly in an organized fashion, in a regular fashion, towards achieving a goal. So when you commit to certain actions like going to the gym every day or maybe 5 times a week, and you are doing it regularly, so that's 5 times a week, maybe Monday to Friday, regularly going to the gym, and you are doing it so that you will get a certain result, maybe to be fit or to be in good shape, that is consistency. The first thing that is an advantage of being consistent is that it gives a sense of identity. Now, I mean sense of identity in two ways. First of all, the sense of identity that you have about yourself. So because you are doing something every time, you start to see yourself differently. So let's say you start doing something and it feels weird, but repeating it over and over and consistently showing up, you start to see yourself that way. You start to have that sense of identity that this is who you are and this is the way you behave in certain situations. Now, it's also helpful even for habit building. Let's say there's a habit you want to inculcate or there's a habit you want to stop. If you are doing something consistently, even though it was difficult at the beginning, so let's say punctuality, someone is not being punctual but the person wants to start being punctual, so but intentionally for maybe a long time the person is putting in the effort to always be punctual. It's not easy at the beginning, but after some time that sense of identity starts to build up. You now start to see yourself as this who I am. I'm someone that gets early to any event or any appointment. So it builds that sense of identity. But not just the sense of identity you have about yourself, is also the sense of identity that other people have about you. When you show up consistently to something, people start to associate that thing with you. So let's say you always talk about something or you always do something or people always see you somewhere. After some time, you start to develop a sense of identity and people always give that association to you. People start to trust you about that thing that you always show up for. There's a saying that long-term consistency always beats short-term intensity. And that's very true. In fact, there's another saying that goes thus, that we tend to overestimate what we can do in a short period and underestimate what we can do in a long period, right? Because we always think that we can achieve a lot in a short period. So several people they believe that they can go from not having any skill or not having any job to becoming a millionaire in just 2 months, right? They believe they can do it and it makes them to go into bursts of intensity. They believe that if they put in some amount of work, they are going to get it in 2 months. But many things just don't work that way. In fact, most things in life just don't work that way. And this is the reason why people start out to do certain things and they are intense for maybe a week or 2 weeks or even 1 month. And after some time, they don't just show up again. They stop that consistency. It's just like someone saying that I'm going to brush my teeth 14 times on Monday and I'm not going to brush my teeth again that week. And that person is going to have horrible dental health because that intensity of brushing the teeth 14 times just in one day does not cover for the remaining 7 days of the week. But if someone says that I'm going to brush 14 times in a week, but it's going to be twice a day, once in the morning, then another time in the evening, and I'm going to be doing that every day, that person is more likely to have good dental health. So the intensity does not cover up for lack of consistency. Whenever people are not consistent, there are usually three reasons behind it. The first one is perfectionism. They are always waiting for the right condition, always waiting for the right timing. They are always waiting for everything to align. They want it to be perfect every time. And there's nobody that is perfect, and definitely nobody that can be perfect every time. So if you are that kind of person, you just have to bring your work up to a certain level, a certain standard that shows progress for yourself, and just do it. Just get it done, even if it is not perfect, because it will never be perfect. Another reason that is similar to the first one is overthinking. There are people that always think, they just analyze, they think, they analyze, they just want to, know the nitty-gritty of things before they start to do it. And because of that, they end up not being consistent. They want to put out content on social media, they overthink it, and before they know it, the day is gone. You shouldn't overthink. You should analyze, but also give yourself a deadline to actually take action. Another reason why people are not consistent is not being patient. So people start out and they want to achieve certain goals, but believe that they are going to achieve the goals quickly, right? Because we tend to always underestimate how much work is necessary for something to be good or for us to have the results that we need. All of us are like that. We underestimate what it really takes to be successful at something. Now you start out in a short period and you start realizing that you are not getting the results that you want. And because of that, one starts to lose momentum. But you need to be patient and realize that sometimes the difference between being successful and not being successful is just patience. So you need to be patient and just keep your head down and keep on working. In order to be consistent, you definitely need discipline. You can never be consistent if you are not disciplined. Now, in a video that I did, I walked us through the practice of discipline. That is the certain activities that if you do these activities, you will definitely end up being disciplined. I outlined it in that video. I'm going to put the video for you on the screen. Watch that video next and you will see how you can be disciplined and also consistent. Till the next video, bye.